Hello friends, welcome back to Value Vintage Cards. This is going to be part 2 of my pickups from my good friend Larry. So if you've not seen part 1, I'll have to make sure I have a link to that in the description here. So basically did another deal with my good friend in the hobby who we connected last year, had a really cool deal, and he was ready to add in a couple more pieces that he would consider moving on to me. So I'm very, very grateful to have these items. Last video I shared the first 5, and this video is the next 7. So that's the full 12 that I picked up. So get fire in here. A couple of these are going to be ridiculously cool and stuff I've never seen. So very happy to have it. All right, let's get started. It's crazy. He lives nowhere near Chicago and nowhere near me, but he is a significant Nellie Fox collector. So to have Nellies suddenly available, he's willing to share a few of these with me. So always looking for Nellie Fox stuff, and all these kind of cool oversized sponsorship type items from the 50s and 60s. When they're there, a lot of times they're pretty scarce and can take months and years to ever see come up, and some of them are so scarce you don't see them come up ever. So this one, most of these Wilson ones you do see circulating somewhere, but they're not easy. At any given time you might not have the ability to buy one. So do they move? Sure, but is there a lot of them? Definitely not. Here's the second one. So first one, he's just kind of sitting on maybe dugout stairs. This one, he's fielding a ball. Also awesome image. I love the hat, love the jersey, all of it excellent. And next one is maybe him getting ready to field the ball. So Nellie images, classics. Absolutely happy to have all of those in the collection. Next was an item, I think I had asked about it and he didn't respond, and I followed back up and was like, hey, what about that one? He's like, I was gonna keep it, but he's like, maybe I'll let it go. So hopefully there's some joy in seeing how happy this makes the next person that gets it. And I always think that's a component of it. When I find people that are super collectors, or just collectors that I know really appreciate an item, I have no problem moving on from an item that I also enjoy, if I know it's going to bring them more joy. I've definitely kind of had that, or even a similar joy, because I think Larry's collection, I think he appreciates it at a pretty gosh darn deep level. But this is a complete program listings, April 9th to 15th, 1960. It's a Chicago Tribune TV week. And I guess I will say it's my first Jack Brickhouse. But to have that advertising baseball with both Ernie Banks and Nellie Fox, it doesn't get much more Aaron's collection perfect than that. So 1960, Ernie and Nellie together. I don't know of a whole lot of items where you get to have that. I've not taken this out, but it does appear to have several pages based on what I can tell. I'm kind of looking at the top here. It's in a thicker holder because it is actually a several page book. It's not just a cover. So on the back is back advertising like you'd expect. So pretty darn cool. All right, 3 more. I'm gonna actually save the smallest thing. So I always say oversize is awesome, right? I think if you know my channel, oversize is my jam. So maybe I've officially been called out and met my match. Top loaders are on the way so that I can store this, but they are custom top loaders. So when I get the top loaders in, maybe I'll reshare these just so you can see how ridiculously huge the top loader is. But I have to figure out where to put this. For the first time, I'm hitting an item where I'm like, huh, that doesn't fit on my shelf. It doesn't even fit next to the printer over there. Like it's got some serious logistical challenges. So I've got to do some coordinating here. But the first one is from, I think, what we just call the 1940s. It's Carstairs whiskey. And I saw this being displayed. This is how big it is. I have to hold it way back here. Try and bring that in so you can get a little better idea what it is. But Christy Mathewson, actually they call it 372 wins, so oops, there's 373 I think is what we call it now. But how great is that image? The detail of that is just fantastic. Sent this over to Sammy Thunder and big group chat with some folks, and you know, Sammy's joking like, how much? Of course, anything from a friend I hold on to. So if this was an eBay deal, I would have just tagged Sammy and said, hey man, go buy that. But coming from a friend, I'm going to keep it. And then the other side of that actually is really the logistical challenge, because this thing is legit big. I thought it was at first just backed with a big piece of cardboard, but it's actually backed with an even bigger item. That was one, when I saw it like kind of on his wall on display, I didn't necessarily know quite how big it was. It only makes it more awesome. It is legit. It's not one of the reprint, you know, imitation mock-ups. This is legit from, you know, probably the, late 50s, 60s, somewhere in that ballpark. But it's a Cooper Tire advertisement with Nellie Fox on it. The color is insanely bright and vibrant, so absolutely love this piece. So neat. So definitely excited to have both of those, but these are, I mean, that's I forget what this is, 18 by 20 or something crazy. So I've got some 18 by 24 top loaders on the way, so that'll be fun. And then the last piece, I think, is the one that it's the only graded piece out of all 12. Different for me. Maybe this crosses into memorabilia, something different, but I think it's neat. I think it's really, really neat. He's got a few items like this that are just so, you know, maybe it's not one of one, but it's got to be one of almost one. And this exact item is unique. So it's an envelope from Nellie Fox. It's for Mrs. Fox for 2 tickets for July 4th, 1968. It's for the Senator's family only, and it is autographed by Nellie Fox. But how cool is that? So literally the envelope that he left 2 tickets for his wife, and he had his autograph on it, of course, and I'd imagine that's probably all his handwriting. So I don't collect like things like checks, but that's kind of also neat when you get something like that. You get, you know, an item that has a lot of their handwriting, so it's not just their name. Full envelope. To follow that, he actually has the tickets. How crazy cool is that? July 4th, 2 ticket stubs that were redeemed and used. So I think that is just such a neat piece. Something different, something unique, something super cool that you just don't see every day. That's one that you can't, I don't know if those circulate or not. I don't know how many of those exist, but I know I have one. I know it's awesome, and I know it's much appreciated. So absolutely fantastic. So that's what I'm going to share. That's my 12 most recent pickups from Larry. There's a couple others that we're working on, and we'll see what else comes in the future, but much appreciated from my friend, and encourage you all, reach out when you do a deal with a friend. Treat that as a different level of appreciation and treasure, because it does have a different level of meaning. I've got some different items from different friends, and those are the forever items in the collection. So that's all I got for today. I'll catch up with you guys next time. See ya.